Hey, good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock on a Friday. Congratulations, you made it to the weekend of what we now know as a quarantine weekend, which can be a real big blur. So we're glad to have you. We're gonna continue to just just have a good time and hang out. One of the things I've been doing, and we're going to discuss this a little bit during our devotional time, is just how much some of what we've considered to be routine of things we've done for years and years and years, and how all of a sudden they've changed. And for me, one of the biggest ones was how I typically drink coffee. And I know a lot of you guys might not drink coffee. A lot of you might think it's disgusting. But I've worked at the church for almost 15 years now, and I kind of have a typical, this is my routine in the morning when I get ready for work. And one of those things is I don't drink coffee at home. So I kind of get ready in the morning. I'm one of those people that's obnoxious. I kind of wake up in a good mood. I'm ready to go. I jump out of bed and I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. And I just get my momentum going really quickly. I know Carolyn and I are a little bit of opposite. She likes to hit the snooze button a couple of times. She likes to sit in bed and just kind of get ready for the day there. But I'm that guy, like I jump up, I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's take on the day. So typically I don't even drink coffee at home. So my typical routine is like, I jump into the shower immediately, get ready, get changed, get dressed, do whatever I need to do. And then grab like a banana or a Cliff Bar, a protein bar, a granola bar, or whatever, as I head out the door, eat it on my way to work. And then I get to work, and that's kind of when I start getting my momentum going. That's when I start thinking like, okay, how am I going to take on the tasks that I have at hand? Because I can do all that other stuff without thinking, right? I can do all my get ready routine without thinking because I do it every day. But I realize one of the things about not getting up and going to work is that I don't really have that solid transition time of, okay, I'm done getting ready in the morning. Now it's time to get to work. So I realized one of the things I needed to do is typically the first thing I did when I got to work is I would make a cup of coffee. I don't even have a coffee pot at home. My coffee pot, my personal coffee pot, is actually at work. So I haven't even had it because it's there and I can't go in and get it. So it's been at work and I haven't even had a chance to go grab it. So I have this cool thing that my buddy Marco gave me. He used to be my roommate. This is called a pour over coffee. And the way it works is you put the coffee grounds in this little ceramic porcelain thing, and then you pour the boiling water over the top of it, and then it goes through, and eventually it comes out in here. And it's a much slower process. It's not as quick. Carolyn and I do have a Keurig machine at home, and that's typically how she drinks coffee. She'll just pop one in and be ready to go, but I don't use it as often. So this has been kind of my morning routine of, okay, it's time to transition from you're just hanging out of the house in the morning to it's time to get to work. So I get the water pot the kettle boiling, grind the coffee beans, pour this, and as soon as this is dripped down into here, I know I can grab this and I can drink it, and then I know, okay, it's time to get to work. So a routine has a really good value to helping us transition from doing different things. So one of the routines that Carolyn and I have, and if you guys watched our devotional video yesterday, one of the things we talked about is we used to have actually one of the funny things is during quarantine with Carolyn and I being home all the time, we realized we were messing with our cat's routine a little bit too, where he was getting a little restless. He wasn't used to having us always around, and we'd be doing stuff with him in the afternoon. But the reality of it is that's typically when he would be just taking naps and not doing anything, and we were trying to play with him. And we found what we needed to do was kind of leave him be during the day, and then kind of late at night before it's time where we would be going to bed, we needed to play with him during that time so that he could kind of get his energy out before it was bedtime. Because the time that what we were finding is because he was hanging out with us during the day when we were trying to play with him, and then he would take his naps later on in the day, like kind of when Carolyn and I would be doing dinner or watching a TV show or something like that. That's when he would be doing his relaxing, and then he'd be amped up and ready to go at like 11 o'clock at night when we're trying to go to bed, and he's running around crazy. So we found if we play with him right before we're ready to go to bed, it kind of helps him in his routine of getting ready for sleep. So one of the funny things we learned through doing this YouTube show is, you guys know we've closed off our videos with trying to shoot out the camera with the darts. We learned that Jazz really likes Nerf darts. It's super cute. He runs around with them in his mouth, kind of like a dog would with a bone. So we when it's the end of the evening and we're trying to get ready for bed, we'll grab the Nerf gun and we'll just shoot the Nerf darts all over the room, and he'll run and grab them and bring them over and stuff like that. So I got a video of, we were shooting him at the door and he was trying to get him off the door. So I got a quick video for you guys to check out. So that's kind of one of the things that we've been doing. I don't know how well you could see that, but maybe we'll see about posting the video online. But the second dart was a couple inches above the eye hole that we look into to see who's at the door. So it's pretty high up there, and he jumps up there and swats it down and has a good time. So for you guys today, I think there's only a couple of us at this point right now. But we'll go ahead and play this game, and people that are watching it recorded later can enjoy it as well. We're going to play a game called Would You Rather, and it's called Quarantine Edition. So basically, these are some situations that we might have due to our quarantine, and we want you guys to chime in with what your answers, and I'll talk about a little bit. And it's basically, you have two choices, and you have to choose which one do you think is the lesser of the two evils. So here we go. First one, would you rather only be able to watch Frozen 2 or only be able to watch Tangled? Okay, so you guys can go ahead and chime into your comments. I actually haven't seen Frozen 2 yet, so I can't speak with 100% affirmation of, yes, I would definitely rather watch Frozen 2. But I love the movie Tangled. Like, Tangled is possibly one of my favorites. So I've got to go with, I would probably pick for only being able to watch Tangled. Okay, Ian, you agree with me? Yeah, I'm not against the Frozen movies, but I did really enjoy the movie Tangled. So I'm going to go with Tangled. If you guys want, you can chime into your answers on the comment section. Got some Frozen. Okay, so it's Ian and I on the Tangled bandwagon. There's no right or wrong answers to any of these questions, so it's not like you're worried about, I'm not going to say the wrong answer. It's just these are all personal preference questions. So this next one, here we go. Would you rather run out of toilet paper or have no internet? Now, that's a tough one. So would you rather run out of toilet paper or have no internet? This is a tough one. I can't say either of them with any affirmation. It's like, as weird as this sounds, I feel like you would get used to both of them. Like, I feel like you would get used, like, eventually you'd be like, okay, we don't have toilet paper. Or eventually you're like, okay, I've got to find something to do other than use the internet. I think I'm going to go with toilet paper, just sounds gross. Jump in the shower. I don't know. Figure something else out. Use computer paper. No, I don't know. That's a tough one. But I think it's definitely, we definitely depend on the internet, and we definitely depend on toilet paper. So both of those are tough ones to rule out as options. Okay, here we go. Next one. Would you rather have Netflix as your only streaming platform with your parents always watching with you? So basically, like your parents, you have Netflix, but your parents are choosing what they want to watch and you have to watch it with them. So you might not get to watch what you wanted. Or Disney Plus is your only streaming platform with your siblings always watching with you. So you have to watch what your siblings want to watch. For me, I guess I'm good with either of those. I know my mom and I kind of have similar tastes in the shows that we like to watch. But then I also think my sister, if she was on the Disney Plus platform, granted, I think it's a little different. I think if you have a 7 or 8 year old sibling that's choosing what you're watching on Disney, that might be a different circumstance. As me, who has a 36-year-old sister, and I think we'd probably want to watch some of the same stuff. So I'm going to go, I don't know. I'll flip a coin on that one. I'll go with, I'll watch Netflix with my mom. We watch a lot of the same shows and have a tendency to get our recommendations from each other. It is a tough one. But for the sake of time, we're going to move on to the next one. Would you rather watch your parents make TikTok videos for an entire month or play the same board game with your siblings every day for a month? Okay, and so for those of you who don't know what TikTok is one of the latest social media video craze themes that's, going to be popular for the next 6 months to a year, and then people will move on to whatever's next. But people are obsessed with TikTok right now, making lots of TikTok videos. So would you rather watch your parents make TikTok videos for a month, or would you rather play the same board game? So it's not play board games with your siblings. It's play the same board game. Ian, you'd rather watch your parents make TikTok videos? Ian, I feel like your parents could make some good TikTok stuff. Their content would probably be pretty good. I would go with board games. My sister and I both like to play games, and we're both kind of competitive. I'm not sure we would want to play the same board game every day for a month, but I think that would be pretty tolerable, especially because I feel like if I had to watch my parents make TikTok videos, I would end up having to help my parents make TikTok videos. So I'm going to go with play the same board game with your siblings every month. I guess if you guys want to chime in, what board game would you like that to be? Do you have any favorite board games? I know it's not really a board game, it's more of a card game, but there's a game called Bang that I really like to play. I think we could have a good time playing that. I guess it's also an interesting concept because it says with your siblings, but I only have one sister, so am I allowed, it's a 6-player game, am I allowed to invite friends? So once again, a lot of these you can justify with loopholes and things like that. So, but I'm still going to go with board games. Okay, here we go. Next one. Be stuck inside with video games, but no bathroom. Or be stuck outside with an outhouse, but no video games. Do we have any people that are just not willing to sacrifice their video game time? You got to have your video games. I'm personally definitely going with the get to be outside, but with no video games. I could easily go for ages without playing a video game at this point in my life. I do actually play a lot of app-based games on my phone, but I think given the circumstances, I could definitely let that go and not really do that. That is actually one of my routines that we're going to talk about later. Is kind of my get ready for bed routine is about 10 minutes shorter than Carolyn's. So I typically open up and play an app game on my phone while she's getting ready, brushing her teeth and taking out contacts and stuff like that. It's one of those things like, okay, it's the end of my day. I did something to help me relax, and I'll share another thing in a little bit with you guys. Those that want to play video games are probably still playing video games. I had a student join us at 2:55 for a 2 o'clock group meeting yesterday, and he just said, sorry, I lost track of time. And you knew he was playing some video game. That's just what was going on. Okay, so next one, by yourself without your phone for a week. Okay, here we go. No phone, no outside communication. Rather be stuck in one room with your family for a week. I think my family would be okay. We would probably have a pretty good time if we had to stay in a room for a week. I'm going to go ahead and say I would rather be stuck in a room with my family for a week than stuck in a room by myself without a phone. I am a somewhat communal person. Nobody out there is willing to go ahead and just say they are willing to not hang out with their family and rather be there by themselves. Next one. Okay, would you rather have good internet but no access to any streaming platform? So no Netflix, no Hulu, no Prime, no Disney Plus, or terrible internet access, but access to every movie made before 2015 in a hard copy. So really good internet, but you can't stream anything. So you can't watch stuff that's playing with any decent speed. Or a terrible internet, but you have access to hard copies of everything made before 2015. So got news for you young kids out there. There was a lot of stuff out there before 2015. So there is quite a bit of content. I'm going to go with that's a tough one because I think my thing is Carolyn and I don't really watch movies very often. So that's a tough one because our tendency is to stream things because we only want to, like, our favorite shows are the ones like the sitcoms that are only like 22 minutes long, right? So we could sit down and watch 1 or 2 episodes while we have dinner and then go back to whatever we were working on. But I think in this situation, we would probably go with bad internet, but watch older movies. We would probably find a way to make that work. Maybe watch half a movie on one day and half a movie on another day, something like that. That's a tough question. So I understand for those of you that are kind of on the fence of what you would like to do. So as you can see, as I was showing you guys earlier, my pour over coffee has been brewing. Now I'll have plenty of energy for the next 20 minutes of our show. Next one. Oh, this is a good one. Eat only green vegetables for the rest of quarantine. So only eat green vegetables for the rest of quarantine, or eat only ramen noodles for the rest of quarantine. Only green vegetables or only ramen noodles. I know I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but I know myself, Tim, and Quentin for sure would definitely go for the ramen route. We all love ramen. But I do understand the desire for green vegetables. I do understand why. Actually, like I would say I eat more vegetables than most people. Like yesterday we did salad with cooked carrots and some ham. Like, I do like meat, but I also have a tendency to eat a lot of vegetables. Not a huge carb guy, but I'm also hoping that quarantine isn't going to be like the next 4 years, because 4 years of ramen would be brutal. But I'm going to hope we've only got another month or two and say I think I'll enjoy a variety of ramen. Okay, here we go. Next one. Here's another toilet paper question. Would you rather run out of toilet paper or run out of your quarantine snacks? Would you rather run out of toilet paper or run out of quarantine snacks? So my go-to quarantine snack is nuts. So I've got a bowl of nuts here. Actually, if you want, you guys can answer this question. Would you rather run out of toilet paper or run out of snacks? And then also in your chime, you can chime your favorite quarantine snack. I've been doing a lot of nuts. My favorite nut is the cashew. I also love pistachios. But one of the things we've had in our pantry that's been awesome was I have these really, really spicy peanuts. So I just mix them all in a bowl. So I got cashews, almonds, pistachios, and then every once in a while I get a spicy peanut that wakes me up a little bit. So if you want in the comment section, you can say your favorite kind of nut if you'd like. Also, you can name what's your go-to snack amidst the favorite go-to snack amidst the quarantine. So I've had a lot of nuts. I've been doing a lot of cracklins or pork rinds, all sorts of good stuff. So here you go. I got an almond for you, Marty. Okay, we got 3 more. Would you rather watch your least favorite movie on replay for a week or not have internet for an entire week? Okay, so would you rather watch your least favorite movie of all time on replay for a whole week or not have internet? I like Ian. Ian goes no internet. He's good with that. He would rather not watch his least favorite movie. Yeah, Amy just says I would read. Yeah, I think we do. It is funny though how some of the internet questions, depending on what the other option is, depends on what we say. We've had some where people would say, no, I can't sacrifice the internet. But on this one, some people say, I don't know. So some people are saying I can sacrifice the internet. Some people say, I've got other things I like to do. I do know without internet, my job would be hard to do, but I would figure out a way to do it. Make phone calls, things like that. Okay, here we go. We got one more toilet paper question. Would you rather be out of toilet paper or be out of toothpaste? Out of toilet paper or out of toothpaste? That could be a tough one. Tough situation here. Would you rather be out of toilet paper or be out of toothpaste? So I'm going to go. That's a tough one. I think I would rather. I don't know. I think I would rather be out of toothpaste. But are there other household options for toothpaste? Like, are there other options? Like, yeah, there you go, baking soda. I was thinking, I know there's a lot of charcoal-based toothpaste things that people use, which kind of sounds weird, but I hear that they work well. I have a friend whose mom was like super into organic and healthy things, and she had really clean looking teeth, but she said she brushed her teeth with like this black charcoal powder. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. She says, yeah, it's like weird because when you're actually doing it, your mouth looks really dirty, but then afterwards your teeth look like really good. So I don't know. So I guess there are other options. So it seems like a lot of people are going with out of toothpaste. We got a couple out of toilet paper. I think I would rather run out of toilet paper because I think we already did that discussion of how we would work around running out of toilet paper and what we would do in that situation. So, okay, last one. Would you rather live off of only canned meats or live off of only canned vegetables? So I know there's a lot of people that all sorts of meat in a can. There's also lots of veggies from a can option as well. But I think from like long term, I think if I'm living off of only one of them, I would have to go with veggies. I would miss meat. I would definitely miss meat, but I think if we're going for like a whole month, if I got to go for a whole month off of living off of stuff that's only in a can, I think I could only go so many meals before my health started to suffer with only canned meats. Like, I just can't imagine what only canned meats for a month might do to your body. I'll have to do some research on that. Okay, so that was our last one. So we are going to continue today. So for those of you guys who missed the beginning, I know we've had a couple editions. one of the things I shared about is my routines that have been impacted by having being in quarantine. One of my major routines is I went to work every day, and it messed with me a little bit because I was used to going to work, and then I make coffee at work, and then all of a sudden here I am at home, and we do an online meeting at 11 o'clock, and I've been working for a couple hours, and I realized I never made coffee today. So I've been developing the habit of brewing my coffee, and it's pretty therapeutic. It's a routine. It helps me relax and get ready to go into the day, get ready for work. Definitely not a routine or a habit I had beforehand, was keeping snacks around, like a bowl of nuts. So like I work at my desk and I've got a bowl of nuts, and I just snack on that throughout the day, and it's nice. One of the things I never really noticed, I knew at work I had a nice desk chair, really comfortable, but at home I don't have like a legitimate work desk. We have this little desk that I'm at right now, but we don't have any desk chairs, like no padded chairs. We have like a couch that I can sit on. I have a nice recliner. We talked about things that we inherited a couple weeks ago, right? Nice things that we inherited. I inherited a recliner from my aunt, and I love sitting in it, but it's not really something you can sit in and just like get work done. Every once in a while I'll sit in it. But so I've been sitting at a desk, and I have these hard chairs. Like even now, like during this program, I'm just sitting on like a stool, right? So I'm spending hours sitting at uncomfortable things at tables that are the wrong height, right? So I was watching this video about this guy who's talking about one of the things during quarantine of people not sitting at ideal workstations. And I found this to be true is I can't really show you guys, but the chairs I would sit at when I was working at this desk were really low to the ground. Like the soft chairs that we have are really low to the ground, but then the hard chairs are too high, so I don't fit underneath. So I had to sit in the lower chairs, and then I would be like this working at the laptop, and my shoulders were always tense, and I was always uncomfortable, right? So yeah, Amy, that's a great idea. I do need a recliner desk platform. That would be a great idea. But one of the things we found is I have this little massage gun, right? And it's small, but we got it because Carolyn is much, much smaller than I am, and I'm pretty thick. I'm pretty dense. So when my muscles get sore, she's going to have to put a ton of work into trying to make me feel better. So one of my routines, one of my things that I do is at the end of the day, I grab this guy out, turn it on, turn it up, and I can loosen up all of those muscles that got tense from sitting at my desk with my arms raised. And this thing, just like seriously, I do this for like 2 minutes before I get into bed, and I'm tingling for like 10 minutes. It feels so good. And it's just like one of those things like as we've had our routines change, what are you guys doing to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves, making sure that you are relaxing? Oh, it feels so good. Okay. I'll get back to you guys in like 15 minutes. So I do this, and then the other thing is from sitting on the hard chairs, I reach and I just do like right on my back, right where my right above my tailbone, help relax those muscles. So this thing just really has been helping me because I didn't even think of doing it. Like it's one of those things that you have that you don't really think about using. And then after I just kept it by the bed, and I started like, okay, my routine is that, like I said, I take about 10 minutes less to get ready for bed than Carolyn does. She wears contacts. She's got makeup and stuff like that. So I've got some spare time. I play a game on my phone really quick, one round, and then I use that until Carolyn's ready for bed. And like after using that, Carolyn's lucky if I'm not asleep by the time she gets there, And developing routine and developing habits is really, really important. And kind of to hammer that home, I saw a thing on Facebook yesterday. A friend of mine was talking, and but he basically wrote, I can't believe it. And I don't remember what his number was. It was really high. It was like 850 something. So he'd been working on this project. He'd been trying to develop this habit to read his Bible every day. And he said, I can't believe after 850, like he had an app that he was keeping track on. I can't believe that after like 857, we'll just say that was the number, but it was something like that. After 857 days of reading the Bible every single day, due to the quarantine, I just missed it, right? I just missed it. So the reality of it is it takes a long time to form a habit. And our lives have been so transformed because of all of the changes that have been made because of the quarantine. This guy had been doing something every single day for almost 3 years. And because of all the transition that happened, he just missed it, right? It just like you just go through a day and you realize, wow, I forgot. Like, and that's kind of how it is for me with coffee. Was I just like my life had transformed so much. I'd had so many different things that had changed. I'd be like, wow, I haven't had coffee for a couple of days because I'm used to doing that every day. And we get used to this whole mentality of we have routines, we have habits, but right now we're in a season where a lot of those things have been thrown out the window, right? Maybe you guys had a school habit. I know some of you guys have to go to school really early, right? So some of you guys wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe because of quarantine, you found you're not getting out of bed till 9 o'clock. Maybe some of you guys had a habit of, we eat breakfast every day because you just like kind of like me, I kind of do it as my get out the door trajectory, right? So I come downstairs, I grab something really quick to eat, I head out the door, and that was kind of like my routine, my rhythm. Maybe you guys are just finding, hey, I forgot to eat. I forgot to make sure that I got to maybe, this has never been one of my problems, as you can tell. But like Carolyn, if she gets going to work, if she gets like her momentum going, she might forget to stop to eat because she just is very momentum based. Whereas me, I'm not going to forget to eat. But there are things that we might forget to do or we might stop doing because of the reality that we just aren't used to it. So one of the things that this is giving us an opportunity for, and this is kind of giving us an opportunity to change some of our habits and change some of our traditions, is we're kind of getting a clean slate during this stay-at-home order to change some of the habits that we have. Maybe they're bad habits that you need to get rid of. Like me, maybe it's snacking too much. Maybe I need to work on that discipline. One of the things that it's been a positive habit is I'm definitely walking a lot more due to the quarantine, right? It's one of those funny things is like I'm allowed to go outside anytime I want, typically, but I rarely ever walk anywhere. But I find Carolyn and I are walking for almost a half hour at least every day. I'm listening to some history-based articles that I typically didn't have not that I didn't have the desire. I've always been really fascinated with history, but it's just like, hey, I've got some time. I can't go out. What can I do during this season to learn more, to grow my understanding of things? So I've been listening to history things. So for you guys, maybe it means getting into the Bible. Maybe it means spending time in prayer. These are little things that we can do in this season to help ourselves grow. So in the devotional this week, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit more, is I'm sure you guys have all heard of the story of David and Goliath, right? Every kid that's ever been to church has heard the story of David and Goliath. If you grew up in a church, you're pretty familiar with it. And it's a very encouraging story because it talks about this young boy, David, right? Probably 13, 14, not really sure. And this giant, this bully, this beast of a man, right? Who's picking on everybody. So even the full-grown men are afraid of Goliath. And David, who's the young boy, says, I'll take him on because I know that God is with me, right? And one of the things that frequently gets left out of the story is where David talks about, hey, this isn't foreign to me. I'm used to hunting beasts. Right? He says, as a shepherd, as the person who was watching after his father's flock, he always had a sling, right? For him, it was not like, oh, I have a toy slingshot that I use to play around in the yard. No, it was a tool of his work, and he used it, right? And I like to imagine that there was a a tree, in the land, in his father's land, that he, maybe over a period of time had moved more and more rocks that he had found that were good rocks for using. And, this tree is just surrounded by rocks, and he goes around, and when he's watching the flock, he uses his sling and just is throwing rocks at them all day. I'm one of those guys that gets entertained by stuff like that. So I could imagine, if one of my jobs was to watch over a flock, I might be there just throwing rocks at this tree. And he talked about, hey, I'm protecting my father's flock from lions, right? I'm protecting them from wild animals, and I'm keeping the beasts away and protecting them, right? So I've got all these rocks that I've been throwing at this tree, and it's probably, all the bark is probably gone on a section of it. And maybe David's father, Jesse, was saying, hey, maybe you should throw rocks at that tree, because at this rate, you're going to kill the tree too. So the reality of it is, when David went and he picked up those stones, he knew what he was doing. He had been practicing this. He had been doing this his entire life. He knew exactly what he was doing. So when he went in to this battle, it wasn't like a cross my fingers, I hope he doesn't kill me. This is hey, I've been doing this for years. I know what I'm doing. I've been practicing this, and I know God is with me, right? So one of the important things for us in our faith is to use this time to develop our spiritual habits, so that when you're in a circumstance later in life, you might have that spiritual knowledge. So I guess a challenge for you guys this week is maybe pick a Bible verse that you want to memorize, right? My mom and dad have a friend named Dave Carey, who was a prisoner of war, right? And he talked about, during the Vietnam War, he was taken prisoner, and he just talks about, there was a moment when he was in prison, and he didn't know how long ago he had learned this Bible verse, but it just came into his head. And he just remembers, even though he didn't spend a whole lot of time memorizing it, it came into his head, and he was able to, when he was depressed and when he was sad, he was able to draw on that scripture and be comforted, right? So my challenge for you guys is, memorizing a scripture verse now might not mean anything to you, but there might be a date later on in life, kind of like David, where he gets faced with a challenge where he can use the verse, where you can use that verse, you can use that passage. So it's one of those tools that you guys can do. So my challenges for you guys this week is, one, try to pick a spiritual habit that you can develop over the course of the next month. So it's May 1st today, May. So we've got a whole month. Maybe it's read a proverb every day. That's a simple task. Proverbs are really, really short, poignant things. So that means I bet you could read a proverb in 10 seconds, right? So if you open up to the book of Proverbs is if you go into your Bible and you open it up to the middle, it's going to be the next book forward. So Psalms is in the perfect middle. Go forward a little bit more. There's a book of the Bible called Proverbs, really short. Read one a day, right? 10 seconds. You could read a month worth of Proverbs in 2 or 3 minutes. Or even just decide, hey, I want to pray every day. You can develop some spiritual habits that are going to reward you later on, reward you in the future, right? So then the other thing that I challenge you guys to do is memorize a scripture verse. You can pick any you want. There's tons of them. Maybe ask a parent if they have a recommendation. I know for me, my favorite scripture verses are Romans 12:2. You're more than welcome to memorize that one. If you'd like, it's therefore, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. That's 12:1. See, it's one of those things. I learned it years ago, and when I'm in moments of, okay, what should I be doing right now? That verse pops into my head and like, okay, I need to be giving myself to God in this opportunity. How can I use this quarantine season to be giving my life to Jesus? So that's a good opportunity for you guys right there. So those are two simple things. So in closing, we've been going for My goal is to keep this thing around 45 minutes. So we're at the 40-minute mark. I did prepare a song that I want to play with you guys. If you were with us last week, you remember one of the situations I have is the first week, the first week, I spent some time and I had Brent here and he and I were able to play together, right? Or not play together, but I was able to play the guitar and he was able to do the slides. But now that I'm by myself, there's nobody hit the slide button. So I tried my best to get it to sync up so that it plays in the right timing. But there's something with this song where the rhythm gets a little off and I can't change the slides to go a different time. So I just set each slide so it's only going to go for 6 seconds and then the timing gets off. So if you know this song, feel free to sing along. If not, just listen to the words and read about what I'm saying. And we kind of talked about, I love this song. One, it was played by some friends of ours at our wedding. But it's also a reminder that kind of we talked about, hey, in this season, would you rather have no toilet paper or would you rather have no toothpaste? But we're also in a season where we don't have a lot of stability. We don't really know everything that's going on. So this song's called Cornerstone. And what cornerstone means is it's a building term. Cornerstone is a building term, and the cornerstone was a rock that they would put in place when they were building a building to make sure that everything turned out perfectly square. And so you needed a good square cornerstone in order to build a finished good house, right? It's kind of like the foundation of the house. You need a strong cornerstone. You need a good cornerstone. And we as Christians have Christ as our cornerstone. It's what we build our life on. So you guys you can join me in singing at home. If not, you can just listen to the words. And I'll try my best to keep with the slides, but they are somewhat inconsistent. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly trust in Jesus' name. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, Savior's love through the storm. He is Lord, Lord of all. When darkness seems to hide his face, when darkness seems to hide his face, I rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. My anchor holds within the veil. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong, in my Savior's love through the storm. He is Lord, Lord of all. He is Lord, Lord of all. He shall come with trumpet sound. When he shall come with trumpet sound, oh, may I then in him be found, dressed in his righteousness alone, Lord of all. He is Lord of all. One last time, Christ alone. Christ alone. Cornerstone, weak made strong. Savior's love through the storm. He is Lord, Lord of all. God, I just ask that as we head into this next week, that you would continue to be our rock and our foundation, that we would know that there's a lot of instability around us, but we know that you are faithful. God, we know that you have good things in store for those who are called according to your purpose, Lord. And we just know that you have a desire to bless us, Lord, and amidst this adversity, that you would open up our eyes to the blessings we have around us, to the good things that we have. God, I pray just that you would continue to be with our community, continue to be with our church, continue to be with Christians all over the world, Lord, that we might be able to bring comfort and bring peace into a world that's broken. In your holy name I pray, amen. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me this week. Glad you were able to join us. Hey, I love the verses that you guys are putting up there. Those are great verses if you guys want to memorize them, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week on Friday. We're going to keep doing this at 2:00 indefinitely until we're able to meet in person again. And then also make sure you check our weekly. We have 2 weekly devotionals for you guys to take a look at if you want to look back. Feel free to go through and use those if you need a little comfort. Look forward to seeing you guys. Love you guys. Can't wait till we meet again.